thank you, Undersecretary Kessler, for being here today. As the world becomes increasingly digital, the potential of technological warfare has become an increasing concern. It is important that our export control regime supports American businesses while preserving American security in both physical and in digital realms. Undersecretary Kessler, BIS recently imposed license requirements on the export of certain AI inference chips, such as NVIDIA H20 to PRC. How is BIS viewing the overall export of AI chips to China? And how are you considering factors like the evolution of PRC domestic capabilities and more advanced U.S. chips entering the market?
Well, thank you for the question. We have BIS maintains robust controls on the flow of AI technology to China. They are extensive. They apply to semiconductors and to semiconductor manufacturing equipment and to software related to manufacturing semiconductors and all parts of the semiconductor supply chain. So we have a robust set of rules that controls this type of technology and prevents it from flowing to China and to certain other countries as well. From time to time, we need to update these rules because, pardon me, because the technology evolves, and we need to make sure that our rules keep pace with the technology. So when we take an action like the one that you described, it's to make sure that the most sensitive technologies don't fall into the hands of our adversaries.
And what can we do as Congress to work with BIS to strengthen our export control regime?
I appreciate the question. I think the first thing would be to give BIS the resources that the President's budget requests. I think it's important for the world to understand that Congress stands with BIS in ensuring that our rules are strongly enforced, that they remain robust. And I think it's important for our foreign partners and allies to know that Congress expects them to align with U.S. export controls. You know, one issue that we encounter frequently in export controls and that is recognized in ECRA, in the statute that establishes export controls. One of the issues is that in order to be effective, export controls need to be coordinated with other countries. Right? We can't have a situation where other countries undermine U.S. export controls by backfilling. Again, I think it's important for American allies and partners around the world to understand that Congress recognizes this problem and expects them to stand with the United States when we impose our own export controls.
And Undersecretary Kessler, undersea cable infrastructure carries over 95% of the world's internet traffic, yet many of the components and support technologies remain available to foreign adversaries. Earlier this year, I introduced the Undersea Cable Control Act, which calls for a strategy to prevent our adversaries from acquiring technologies critical to global cable networks. What role can BIS play in identifying and controlling exports of sensitive cable-related technologies to ensure that our communications networks are not compromised by hostile cyber actors?
Well, I think that's an important area to look at, and I'd be happy to work with you on that. I think we have a number of tools at our disposal, including export controls, and potentially including the ICTS authority that I mentioned. So look forward to talking to you more about that.
Thank you. And the Foreign Direct Product Rule was designed to close export control loopholes, but key allies like the Netherlands and Japan have not fully aligned their controls, allowing adversaries to access semiconductor tools with potential cyber and military applications. How is BIS engaging with international partners to ensure that multilateral export controls are harmonized and our adversaries cannot exploit allied markets to undermine U.S. cybersecurity and export enforcement?
Well, we and I personally have been engaging with foreign governments to stress that point. So I want to assure you that we're very focused on that issue, and we take it very seriously. It's critical for U.S. export controls to be effective, to have governments like the ones that you mentioned on board with U.S. controls.
Thank you. I yield back.